Hello, my name's Clint Searcy from Searcy String Works. I make and repair guitar and bass pickups, and thought you might be interested in checking out some repair work I did a little while ago on a Gibson Mandolin pickup that was heavily damaged after Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. Sat underwater for quite a while, and I think you'll find this interesting. I'd never actually seen one of these pickups before it arrived here at the shop. It's a 1960s Gibson electric mandolin pickup, and essentially it's just a P-90 with two of the poles cut off and a custom cover. Well, that plus it's sat in a bathtub of toxic sludge for a couple of weeks. This is one soap bar that could use a little soap, I guess. I don't know if it's the Katrina crud or the years of hard playing that's eroded these pole screws so badly. Chances are it's a little of both. I want to reuse as many original parts as I can because this is a restoration. But these pole screws are shot. I'll have to replace those. Okay, time to start taking notes. First things first, we start checking for vitals. The multimeter tells us we've got 8.85 k ohms. That's great. That means we're not going to have to rewind the coil. Maybe this isn't going to be all that bad. Next, I want to check the magnetic polarity of the poles to make sure I put the magnets back in the same way they came out. This is my handy little magnetic polarity tester from Stuart Mac, although I have been known to use a 99-cent compass. Okay, now it's time to tear everything apart and see just how much damage we've got in here. That's not always as easy as it sounds. The pole screws were stuck fast and one even twisted off while I was trying to take it apart. But I know a few tricks and I'm able to get them out anyway. Oh yeah, see there? I told you things were going to get nasty in here. Now I know what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, "Self, he can't possibly reuse these old nasty parts." So you just sit right there and watch to see if you don't learn something. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to try and tackle is cleaning up this absolutely irreplaceable pickup cover. So what do you think we ought to use to clean up this little bit of irreplaceable music history? Yeah, alcohol, naphtha maybe some buffing compound or something like that. Well, those are all really interesting suggestions, but I'm going to start with the mildest detergent I know of. Tongue oil. Get it? Get it, tongue oil? I know, it seems childish, but saliva really is a great detergent. It's got a lot of enzymes and the right pH level for cleaning resinous coatings and plastics. It's been used in fine art restoration for decades. Alright, enough of that. Now I go on to buff out the top of the cover with an old piece of denim. That's not going to make this cover look like brand new. Nothing short of replacing it will, but it will get the shine back where it was when the owner had it. Next we move on to cleaning up the magnets. I know they look really bad, but a little Scotch-Brite ought to take care of them. It's only surface rust. After that, it's time for the brass frame plate. Again with the Scotch-Brite and a little bit of Brasso, bring it right back to new. Now let's check the bobbin and the coil. We know the coil itself is in good shape because we checked it with the meter. But you can see that the tape looks pretty bad, so I want to go ahead and open that up and make sure that the solder connections inside are in good shape and not corroded. The connections look good, so a little fresh tape on this and clean up the bobbin a little bit. We can move on to the incredibly ugly spacer. Now I tried to save this thing, but by the time I got done filing all the pitting and rust off of it, it was so far out of spec I just couldn't use it. I didn't feel comfortable with that. Now since you can't buy parts for this weird little thing, I decided to do what I think Gibson did in the first place, which is to take a stock P-90 spacer, drill an extra hole in it, and cut it down so that it fits. I believe that's a dead perfect match, isn't it? Alright, and now we have all our parts ready to go. Base plate, magnets, spacer, bobbin, cover, new pole screws from all parts. Everything you could ever hope to have in a P-90. And now, to quote the books Chilton and Haynes, assembly is the opposite of disassembly. I went ahead and replaced the original braided lead with a new one because the old one was cut really short and kind of looked like the Crypt Keeper's shoelace. When it came to installing the new gold-plated pole screws from all parts, they were turning a little too easy for my taste, probably because of all the effort it took to get the old ones out. So to tighten things up and prevent further deterioration, I used a little crazy glue on the threads. This works great because it sticks to the plastic really well, but it won't stick to the gold-plated screws. Then it's off for a dip in the old wax pot. This helps stop microphonic vibration inside the pickup and should help prevent any further corrosion. When it's out of the wax and cooled off, we apply a little bit of the original Gibson style tape that went on the edges. And that's pretty much it. It's time to go back to the shop that sent it to me, and they can put it back in the mandolin it came out of. Looks good, doesn't it? I'm happy with it. Well, that's about all for this one. I hope you learned a few things. If nothing else, you get to see how a P-90 is put together and how it comes apart and how it goes back together again. Remember, if you find yourself needing some pickup repair or maybe just a custom-built pickup for a project of yours, swing by old SearcyStringworks.com and give us a holler. We'll set you up with something. Oh, and I got to tell you, too, the kicking tunes you're hearing in the background are from Nashville's own Bone Pony. Be sure and check them out at bonepony.com. And let's listen to them for a little while we check out a couple of projects I've worked on. See you later.
Its sticky thread, I fight the line, but it's hard to break free. Some can't see what a blind man hears. Some embrace, still others fear the pain, the broken heart that's left to die. It's left to die. Oh, it's left to die.
Doggone